And good morning, Hoosier fans, and welcome to another victorious edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Providence. I am your host, Chad Schwartzkopf. And your Indiana Hoosiers win yesterday afternoon in the first round of the Maui Invitational against Providence, 79-58. A overall great outing by the Hoosiers yesterday afternoon to see. Kind of first tip, the Providence team gains it, goes down, kind of scores a little bit of a sloppy shot underneath, and that 2-0 would be the only lead that they hold all game. Hoosiers kind of took care of business from then on out, basically even giving us a glimpse within the next two possessions what the rest of the game is going to be like, where you have Race Thompson dominating on defense and then also scoring the first points for the Hoosiers. He is the standout guy of the game, becoming the guy that we want to see him. 22 points, posts a double, his very first of his IU career, with 13 rebounds to go with those 22 points. Finishes probably in his highest minutes game and played in games. I don't think he got close to that at the end of last season, 35 minutes. I'd have to kind of dive deeper to make sure for that. But really the race that we were all hoping for in the offseason, one that we thought we could see, always had the potential, and just a great compliment to Trace Jackson-Davis, someone that can step in there and take care of business with him. Trace obviously didn't have the greatest of games. Had one of those games that we've seen before with him where he kind of struggles with the physicality of the game. Providence, within their own division, within their own league, is known as a very physical defensive team. And IU was able to weather that overall. But Trace did struggle with that a little bit, as we saw. Can be a little concerning. Obviously, we don't want to see him struggle with physicality in a game, because the Big Ten itself is a very physical league to be in. But something that will come, even flow, but it's great to have that trade-off of Race Thompson to step up. It's really a team with our depth that we have, where you can see guys, when one guy will struggle, other guys can step in and take care of business, can do what's needed to kind of fill in the gaps. It's going to be very exciting this year to see that as well, because it's going to make the Hoosiers a very tough team to scout against. It's going to be a team that other teams are going to struggle if you focus on Trace Jackson-Davis. And again, if I am any opposing team playing the Hoosiers this year, that is definitely going to be my game plan, is to double him or give him, knock him off his game. That's the best line to success, as far as at least you look at the numbers and whatever tape you have on the Hoosiers. But now with Race stepping up like he did, that game plan may not work as well. Trace is very good, as we saw in a few plays in there during the game, at getting his hands up and getting into keeping the ball up when he gets in there, and the double was coming over even in one play, and he was able to pass out of that double and found Race for an easy slam dunk. That's great. That's great to know that even if he's struggling offensively to get the ball in the hoop, he's still got his wits about him to find his open man. And overall, that was a great game plan we saw by the Hoosiers last night or last afternoon, stepping up into the contact that they ran into, but playing inside out, lots of good passes, lots of good ball movement. The great thing to see as well when looking at the stats is the Hoosiers finish with 16 assists. That's fantastic. Rob, your main ball handler, your main deliverer, finishes with 5. You always want him to be in the lead as far as assists. And then it's pretty evenly spread throughout the rest of the guys. Turnovers at 9. I believe they were even as low as 5 for a good majority of the game. It was kind of towards the end of the game where a few turnovers happened here or there, which made it skyrocket. So I think like 3 or 4 of those turnovers happened within the last probably 10 minutes of the game. So majority of the game was very low turnover rate. Again, 9 is very low too. That's just, again, me being nitpicky with my analysis of it. 3-pointers did fairly well. We were 2 for 11 in the first half. Some of them were ill-advised. A few were pretty wide open and need to go in. But then the number overall shot up because Al, who took 3 threes in the second half, nailed each one of them. That finished, I believe, that was all the threes he took. No, he took 2 threes in the first half. So he finished 3 for 5. So that's trending a little bit better, doing a little bit better with that as well. Also, remember last game, weren't as good at the free throw line. They improved very much from the free throw standpoint, ending with 75% from the line. Jared and Coach gave me a little bit of grief last night when I was critical about that 75%. Again, I just think you're Indiana. You're a fundamental team. You want to be able to hit every single free throw. I know that's just me being greedy. I want to see every basket go in, especially all the free ones you get. But yeah, good free throws, good overall. The aggressiveness shows in the points off of turnovers, 17, and the second chance points at 17 as well. So we were very aggressive on the rebounding, getting up there. So that was a good thing, and that's something I want to look to during the game this afternoon is watch. If we aren't shooting the 3-point very well, how are we rebounding those misses? I try to keep track, and I'll report in tomorrow to let you know when we do Hoosier Morning After Texas, how many of those 3-pointers that we missed, we then got the rebound and had a chance at going back up with and at least getting some points. Because you kind of look at those and you look at missed 3-pointers and you think, well, there's 3 points gone. You automatically, at least I do, think that it was a bad rebound and the other team went away with it and there was 3 points lost. When sometimes they're going to be a putback, you'll get 2 or maybe even have another chance at the 3. So actually, I believe, thinking of it now, there was that case where I think we had a missed 3, rebound, kick out, another missed 3, rebound, and then finally a putback for 2. So that's a little bit better in the sense that there's, I guess, 2 misses, which you would think in your brain is 6 points left off, but still in that possession, we still got 2 points. So overall, again, the team pretty evenly balanced yesterday, a lot of good contributors. It's great to see the whole team kind of locked in as a whole, as a core. This team's very excited. They like to play together. They really enjoy each other. Hoosier Hysterics are great with their little clips that they've pointed out. And to speak on, Jordan Geronimo had that great trap, those long arms that he has. I would not want to be stuck behind him. He's very active with his hands. It was great discipline for him to stay in that. That was something that he talked about. I remember hearing in a few interviews before he came to Indiana that he loves defense. He loves going after guys. He loves being able to shut down guys. And that showed in that play. We got to see that big time in the Hoosier uniform yesterday when he had his man trapped and those long arms stayed active, up, down, walling in his player, but still so smart not to reach in. You could easily, when you're getting close to getting that 5 count call on your defender, to just reach in and when you see a little window or something. But he was smart, stayed up, walled up, and he got that 5-second call. And it was right over there by the Indiana bench. And you could see as that 5 was counting up, it got to 3. Anthony Leal stood up, 4. Christian Lander standing up, and 5, and everyone explodes. Everyone's excited. You can even see Coach Miller screaming and everyone hollering, and I believe Jordan even let out a little howl during that. That's great to see. That's a team that's excited to play together, and you just keep powering through those kind of plays, and you love to see that for the guys. another thing, keeping in that kind of camaraderie theme, is there's a video of after the game, and the camera's following Trace Jackson Davis, and he high fives a few teammates, and then he kind of goes over to Race and kind of gives him a little slap on the side of the face, and I'm sure it's a little cheer for how good he did, because Race then smiles and everything, and then everyone else kind of comes over and joins in and gets excited. And the first one over there is Trey Galloway. He's all excited. He chest bumps with Race, and he's a very excited guy. Actually, speaking of those chest bumps, when one of Race's dunks, another great replay if you go back and watch, Race gets a great pass by Trace Jackson Davis and is able to just slam it home, and Trey goes sprinting from the three-point line over to him and gives him a big old chest bump, something that would probably knock over you or me, but it's just, again, it's that bulldog mentality that Trey has, and that compete and that love for the game, and it's just it's contagious for a team to have a few guys on that will do that. Just kind of spreads to the rest of the team and keeps an overall great attitude and culture and everything going on with the team. Trey, speaking of him and continuing with him, continued to look good. He stayed aggressive, had not a large game if you look on the stat sheet, with just 4 points, whereas he was the second leading scorer in the last game. Was 1 for 6, 0 for 2 from 3, hit both of his free throws, and got down 3 rebounds, and only 3 personal fouls, 2 assists, 2 turnovers, and 2 steals. 3 steals. So he had a good game. The eye test does a little bit better than the stats. Again, I think that has to do with how well we defended this team. Everyone did a great job of moving their feet, staying in front of their men. Trey the same way. Kind of shared duties with one of their better players and kind of kept him in check for most of the game. So it was great to see. Also, his drive is just so fast. His first step off the bounce into the drive is a very fast move that he does. He is able to get past the guys. He is able to come through that first step. I believe it was Christian Lander dribbled the ball up, kind of scooped underneath his man, passed it off to him, and Trey immediately had the vision to see the basket. He looked to the basket first, had that first step explosion, found his lane, and went in and laid it up nicely. So he's great at getting to the basket, seeing the basket, and finding those lanes when he needs to have them. So it's great to see that attack mentality. And I think that's something that all the freshmen have. I've kind of seen all of them step up and look to attack first when they have the ball. And to me, I read that as them being very coachable. That is something that Archie Miller has stated in the offseason that he wants this team to do. He wants them to play fast, and he wants them to attack. And if all 4 freshmen, from what we have seen from them, are doing that, that means these are very coachable guys. And these are guys that are listening to their coach, doing what he has asked. And even more so, they are great guys to have moving forward, because that continues the culture and everything like that. But it may also speak to the fact of Archie's recruiting. He's recruiting guys that he knows is going to be like that, guys that are going to attack. And I think we are seeing the fruits of that labor with these players knowing what their coach wants to do and staying locked in. This is finally kind of a more talented team overall, good role players on it, and they are going to be able to show us, and we got to see it, the defense that Archie has wanted to implement for this team since he's been here. So great to see. Again, overall, a very good outing by the team. A few things to talk about, I guess, in the negative, other than the 3-point thing. And was we haven't really seen Jerome Hunter get going yet this year like we would expect him to. He doesn't look like he's as excited when he's in there. I think he is definitely a player that needs to get in there, and Archie needs to immediately draw up a play for him to get a shot the minute he is in there, because he needs to see it go in the basket. And then I think after that, he is ready to go, and he's just got that groove. He's got his swagger a lot quicker if he is able to see the ball go in and know that the rhythm is there, know that he can make those shots. He just didn't look like the normal happy Jerome that we normally see. He's normally smiling, having a good time out there during the game. But I think that'll come. That's being very greedy as well. He is one of very many on this team. So again, it's a very deep team. So not everyone's going to show out every game, which again is fantastic, because how can you game plan or scout for a team who could have 2 or 3 guys that in double figures that were not in double figures the game prior? So it's fantastic. I mean, who you're gonna look to on this team and game plan against is gonna be Trace Jackson Davis and Al Durham. And even speaking about Al Durham, he was, again, a true senior leader. He stepped up. He's a guy, again, and in last game, when we needed it, when we were slowing down and the Tennessee Tech started to come back, he nailed a three-pointer and then got a wonderful drive to the basket that kind of set the tempo up again. It got IU going again. And in the second half, again, when we started to, I'm not saying that Providence was coming back at that point, but when we looked a little stagnant on offense, he nails 2 threes. So he's going to be a rock for this team. He's going to be a true leader for this team. And he is best in games like this because he lets the game come to him. He finds what it is. He's not forcing things. He's not trying to create things that aren't there. And that's great. That's great to see. Now, I don't fully wish it on, but in today's game, we may see this team get tested a little bit more. We haven't seen them yet, obviously, just 2 games in, have to deal with being behind and how they battle through. So Texas really kind of matches up against us in a decent way. They are very long. They're a very athletic team. And so we need to stay aggressive like we were yesterday for today's game. And I think we could be all right at that standpoint. We just need to stay physical, stay aggressive on the boards. We need to look at this at a great passing. We need to not dribble as much on offense, just let the ball move, see those screens, a lot of movement, and I believe we'll be okay. Again, I don't wish bad on the team, but I would maybe like to see us have to have a little comeback at some point. I want to see how this team can deal with that adversity. Who's going to step up and calm the team? I obviously believe that will be Al. I think Al, in his kind of senior leadership role, will take over in that sense. I think Race can also be that kind of guy. Also, the question to see if we are going to see Joey Brunk in this game or not. I'm one of team is rolling pretty good right now. Race is got a hot streak going. If there's any question marks at all about Joey, and if he can play, then I say let him sit again. Let him rest up. Let's not tempt things. Indiana already had a star player in Michael Penix re-injure something that was repaired from last year in his ACL. So the last thing we need to do is rush to things and have another IU athlete re-injure something that is currently aggravating them. Not to say at all that Coach Allen was doing that. I'm not saying that at all. But yeah, again, this game is at 1:30. I believe the ESPN is where it's going to play. Again, I know winner's bracket gets the 1:30 game. So strange. I think it's because of other games that are going on, why they don't get the 7 o'clock slot like the loser's bracket does. But 1:30 is the tip for that. So check that out, and I will be back with you again tomorrow morning for Hoosier Morning After Texas when that goes through. So also, if you notice the great mug for this morning, wake up, kick butt, repeat. Hopefully we do that. We wake up. We kicked butt yesterday. We hopefully repeat that today. So I think that'll do it for this episode of Hoosier Morning After. So thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel where you can watch it live every morning after the games. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay or listen wherever you get your podcasts. Follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick, where you can find announcements about the show and ask questions. A special thanks to fellow Bloomington South grad and an old neighbor of mine, Bob Thompson, for producing the music on the show. I'll see you next morning after the game. Until then, have a wonderful day and go Hoosiers.